Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the evening news. The headlines. Efforts are on to connect every village with better health facilities, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Inaugurates 3 key projects and biggest cardiac hospital of the country in Gujarat. Government extends deadline for filing income tax returns by individual taxpayers till 31st of December. Total recoveries of COVID-19 cross 70 lakh in the country. Recovery rate improves to 89.78%. Prime Minister will share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Delhi Capitals by 59 runs. And in the second match, Kings 11 Punjab is playing with Sunrisers Hyderabad in Dubai. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today virtually launched 3 key projects in Gujarat. Mr. Modi launched the Kisan Suryoday Yojana for the farmers of Gir Somnath, Patan and Dahod districts, which will provide daytime power supply to farmers for irrigation. He also inaugurated India's biggest cardiac hospital, UN Mehta Institute of Cardiology and Research Center at Civil Hospital campus in Ahmedabad.
आज भारत के सबसे बड़े कार्डियक अस्पताल के रूप में यूएन मेहता इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कार्डियोलॉजी एंड रिसर्च सेंटर का लोकार्पण किया गया है। ये देश के उन चुनिंदा अस्पतालों में से हैं जिसमें वर्ल्ड क्लास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी है और उतनी ही आधुनिक हेल्थ फैसिलिटी भी है।
Prime Minister also launched the Girnar Hill Ropeway project in Junagadh.
गिरनार पर्वत पर मां अंबे भी विराजती हैं, गोरखनाथ शिखर भी है, गुरु दत्तात्रेय का शिखर भी है और जैन मंदिर भी है। अब यहां विश्व स्तरीय रोपवे बनने से सबको सुविधा मिलेगी।
Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said the Kisan Suryoday Yojana, starting from Junagadh, Gir Somnath, will bring a new dawn in the lives of farmers. He said in the coming days, this scheme will be implemented in more than 1,000 villages and will make the everyday life of millions of farmers easier. The Prime Minister said we have to adopt the mantra of per drop, more crop, and through this way, farmers will be able to arrange micro-irrigation by getting electricity during the day.
किसान सूर्योदय योजना न सिर्फ राज्य के किसानों को सुरक्षा देगी बल्कि उनके जीवन में नया सवेरा भी लाएगी। किसानों को रात के बजाय जब सुबह सूर्योदय से लेकर के रात 9 बजे के दौरान 3 फेज बिजली मिलेगी तो यह नया सवेरा ही तो है।
The Prime Minister said that the work is being done in the country to make farmers from Annadata or food givers to Urjadata or energy givers.
देश में आज अन्नदाता को ऊर्जादाता भी बनाने के लिए काम किया जा रहा है। कुसुम योजना के तहत किसानों, किसान उत्पादक संघ, एफपीओस, कोऑपरेटिव्स, पंचायतों ऐसे हर संस्थानों को बंजर जमीन पर छोटे छोटे सोलर प्लांट लगाने में सहायता दी जा रही है। देश भर के लाखों किसानों के सोलर पंपों को भी ग्रिड से जोड़ा जा रहा है। इससे जो बिजली खेतों में पैदा होगी उसको किसान जरूरत के हिसाब से अपनी सिंचाई के लिए उपयोग कर पाएंगे।
Prime Minister said today UN Mehta is one of the largest cardiac hospitals in India. He said efforts are being made to connect every village with better health facilities. Mr. Modi said under Ayushman Bharat, 21 lakh people from Gujarat have received treatment. The temple ropeway at Girnar is a 130 crore rupee project. It consists of a total of 25 cabins and is of 2.3 kilometers length and 900 meters high. The Prime Minister appealed the people to wear masks, maintain social distance and wash hands. To provide more time to taxpayers for furnishing of income tax returns, the central government had extended the deadline for filing returns by individual taxpayers for financial year 2019-20 till the 31st of December this year. Earlier, the tax filing deadline was 30th of November. Ministry of Finance, in a statement, said the due date of furnishing income tax returns for taxpayers whose accounts require to be audited has been extended till the 31st of January 2021. Due date for furnishing of income tax returns by the taxpayers who are required to furnish a report in respect of international and specified domestic transactions has also been extended to 31st of January 2021. The date for furnishing of various audit reports, including tax audit report and report in respect of international and specified domestic transaction, has also been extended to 31st December 2020. Besides, the due date for payment of self-assessment tax has also been extended to provide relief for the second time to small and middle-class taxpayers. The Minister said the due date for payment of self-assessment tax by taxpayers whose self-assessment tax liability is up to 1 lakh rupees has been extended to 31st January 2021.
The government has also extended the due date for filing GST annual returns in Form GSTR 9 and GSTR 9A and reconciliation statement in Form GSTR 9C for financial year 2018-19 from the 31st of October to the 31st of December 2020. Filing of annual return Form GSTR 9 and GSTR 9A for 2018-19 is optional for taxpayers who had aggregate turnover below 2 crore rupees. The filing of reconciliation statement in Form 9C for 2018-19 is also optional for the taxpayers having aggregate turnover up to 5 crore rupees. The government had received a number of representations regarding the need to extend due date for filing annual return and reconciliation statement for 2018-19 on the ground that due to COVID-19 pandemic-related lockdown and restrictions, normal operation of businesses have still not been possible in several parts of the country. The central government has approved a scheme for grant of ex gratia payment of the difference between compound interest and simple interest for 6 months to borrowers in specified loan accounts to mitigate the COVID-19 effect. According to the Department of Financial Services, the scheme can be availed by borrowers in specified loan accounts for a period from the 1st of March to the 31st of August. It said that borrowers who have loan accounts having sanctioned limits and outstanding amount of not exceeding 2 crore rupees will be eligible for the scheme. Under the scheme, MSME loans, education loans, housing loans, credit card dues, automobile loans, consumption loans and personal loans to professionals are covered. However, borrowers whose aggregate of all facilities with the lending institution is more than 2 crore rupees will not be eligible for ex gratia payment under the scheme.
Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar has said that 3 crore dwellings have so far been constructed under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana PMAY in the country and 1.5 crore more are in the pipeline. He was speaking after virtually inaugurating a draw of lot for homes built under the PMAY in 5 projects by the Pune Municipal Corporation PMC today. He said that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the government has done exemplary performance by providing for 12 crore toilets, electricity to 2.5 crore households, 4 crore water connections and various schemes like Ujjwala Gas, Jan Dhan, Ayushman and Education for All. Local MP Girish Bapat said the projects undertaken by the PMC have helped in fulfilling the dream of one dwelling to the needy. Pune Municipal Corporation has so far completed construction of 2,918 dwellings under 5 different PMAY projects which have been duly approved by the centre. The government has given consent to the Indo-Tibetan Border Police ITBP to set up 47 additional border outposts to step up vigil along the border. Minister of State for Home G. Kishan Reddy said this while addressing the 59th raising day of the ITBP. He said the government has taken several steps to make it more efficient and modern. Mr. Reddy said the present government is committed to empowering the ITBP.
ITBP को पूर्ण रूप से सशक्त बनाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। आईटीबीपी को 47 बॉर्डर आउटपोस्ट स्थापित करने का केंद्र सरकार होम डिपार्टमेंट मंजूरी दे दी गई है।
The minister said apart from border security, the ITBP is fighting terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, left-wing extremism in Chhattisgarh and making significant contribution in peace mission abroad. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has greeted all ITBP personnel and their families on the 59th Raising Day. Mr. Singh said in a tweet that the ITBP is an extraordinary force which is keeping the borders safe. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Horticulture Department, Kashmir is organising a third buyer-seller meet tomorrow. More from our Srinagar correspondent.
In view of the good response from the public and for the benefit of growers under Atmanirbhar Bharat, the Department of Horticulture Kashmir is organizing third buyer-seller meet tomorrow at Horticulture Complex in Srinagar. In the event, maximum stalls shall be established for display and sale of fresh as well as dry fruits. Prominent orchardists from Kashmir division are scheduled to participate in the event. Besides, various cultural programs are also being arranged on. The event has been organized to create awareness among the general public for consumption of fruit to help boost the immune system in the wake of the prevailing circumstances. This is Sunil Kohl for AR News from Srinagar.
The Indian Army shot down a Pakistan Army quadcopter in Jammu and Kashmir today. This was stated by Srinagar-based Chinar Corps of the Indian Army in a tweet. The Army said that the Pakistan Army's quadcopter was shot down in Keran sector along the line of control in North Kashmir's Kupwara district. In Bihar, campaigning for the first phase of assembly elections has reached its peak. War of words has intensified between leaders of the NDA and the Grand Alliance, with only 2 days left for campaigning for this phase. BJP President JP Nadda claimed in a public meeting in Lakhisarai that voters will discard the Grand Alliance. He said they know the previous track record of the RJD, that during their rule kidnapping had become an industry. Addressing rallies in Munger, Barauli and Patna, BJP's star campaigner and Union Minister Smriti Irani said, Lotus brings prosperity and only BJP can make Bihar self-reliant. JDU President and CM Nitish Kumar said NDA has emancipated Bihar from the dark era of RJD. On the other hand, leaders of opposition parties trained their guns on the ruling NDA in their poll campaigns. More from our correspondent.
RJD leader Tejasvi Prasad Yadav claimed in Dhauraiya that Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is old and tired, so the people of Bihar want to see a young leader for their state. Senior Congress leader and Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh Bhupesh Baghel alleged that the farm reform legislations are against the farmers and consumers. He said that these acts have been brought to favor capitalists and it will turn the farmers to workers. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi addressed rallies in support of candidates of Grand Democratic Secular Alliance. The party has forged alliance with 5 parties including BSP and RLSP. Jan Adhikar Party Chief Pappu Yadav alleged that Nitish Kumar-led government has failed on all fronts. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Patna.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Efforts on to connect every village with better health facilities, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Inaugurates 3 key projects and biggest cardiac hospital of the country in Gujarat. Government extends deadline for filing income tax returns by individual taxpayers till the 31st of December. Total recoveries of COVID-19 cross 70 lakh in the country. Recovery rate improves to 89.78%. Prime Minister will share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 7 a.m. tomorrow. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Delhi Capitals by 59 runs. In the second match, Kings 11 Punjab is playing with Sunrisers Hyderabad in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अरे भाई सुना तुमने? अरे इस मुश्किल समय में सरकार ने हम कामगारों की मदद के लिए एक और बड़ा कदम उठाया है।
कौन सा कदम?
पात्रता के नियमों में छूट के साथ ESIC ने अटल बीमित व्यक्ति कल्याण योजना के तहत मिलने वाली राहत राशि को बढ़ाकर दुगना कर दिया है। हाँ,
अच्छा, पात्रता की शर्तों को पूरा करने वाले जरूरतमंद बीमित व्यक्ति राहत के लिए ऑनलाइन दावा www.esic.in पर करें। अधिक जानकारी के लिए अपने नजदीकी ESIC शाखा कार्यालय से संपर्क करें या फिर टोल फ्री नंबर 1800-112526 पर कॉल करें।
चिंता से मुक्ति। चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे,
The Health Ministry today said more than 70 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19 infection in the country. In the last 24 hours, more than 67,000 have recovered. The ministry said 10 states and union territories are contributing 81% of the high number of daily recoveries. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has now reached 89.78%. The actual caseload currently comprises only 8.71% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is over 6,80,000. In the last 24 hours, 53,370 new cases have been reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 78 lakh. In the same period, 650 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,17,956. Currently, India's case fatality rate is 1.51%, which is one of the lowest globally. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has expressed hope that COVID-19 vaccine will be made available in the country by January next year. Speaking at a program on DD News, Dr. Vardhan said, there are 3 vaccine candidates in India, out of which one is at the advanced stage of clinical trial of phase 3. Of the other 2 vaccine candidates which are in clinical trial of phase 2, one has recently entered the 3rd phase trial. Dr. Vardhan also said, if the preparations in this regard made so far progress well, then 400 to 500 million doses of the COVID vaccine will be available in the country before June and July of next year. Dr. Harshvardhan also appealed to people to follow COVID-appropriate behavior to check the spread of virus in view of the coming festive seasons. In Andhra Pradesh, 7,42,814 samples have been tested so far, which is the highest number of COVID tests among the states. Meanwhile, 4,281 new infections and 20 deaths were reported yesterday. Also, Andhra Pradesh is the second state after Maharashtra to report over 8 lakh cases, but it has the lowest deaths and highest recoveries among the top 4 affected states.
Kerala continues to report surge in COVID cases as 8,253 new cases were confirmed today. 6,468 people recovered from the infection today. 25 more deaths were confirmed due to COVID, taking the death toll in the state to 1,306. Over 67,000 samples were tested across the state in the past 24 hours. The total active COVID cases in Kerala rose to 97,417. The downward trend in the COVID-positive cases continued in the Union Territory of Puducherry, with 128 new cases being reported as against the 158 yesterday. According to the COVID-19 status for today released by the Health Department, the recovery rate has improved to 86.81%, while the case fatality rate remained at 1.72%. Presently, 1,577 persons are under treatment in the hospitals, and another 2,335 positive cases are under home isolation in all the 4 regions of the Union Territory. In Manipur, 6 persons expired due to COVID-19 infection in the past 24 hours, taking the total fatality due to the pandemic in the state to 138. On the other hand, 245 persons, including 12 personnel from the Central Armed Police Force, were confirmed as new COVID-19 positive cases in the past 24 hours, making the total count of positive cases so far in the state to 17,022. Among the new cases, 233 persons are local and do not have travel history. They are suspected to be infected through local transmission. 157 persons were discharged in the past 24 hours in the state, and the recovery rate has further decreased to 74.72%. Total recovered cases stand at 12,719, while the number of active cases is 4,165.
Nagaland has reported 79 fresh cases of COVID-19 today, taking the total count to 8,515. In addition, 2 more COVID deaths have been registered today. So far, 24 persons succumbed to the infection, while 6 death cases are not related to COVID and 2 cases are under investigation. Presently, there are 1,815 active cases, of which 1,727 are asymptomatic cases and 88 cases are symptomatic. Senior BJP leader and former Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has tested positive for COVID-19. In a tweet, Mr. Fadnavis said he is taking all medication and treatment as advised by doctors. He said those who have come in contact with him are advised to get the COVID-19 test done. First woman from Madhya Pradesh to climb Mount Everest, Megha Parmar has urged people to wear masks and follow social distancing to protect themselves from coronavirus.
जय हिंद, मेरा नाम मेघा परमार है और मैं मध्य प्रदेश की पहली लड़की हूँ जिसने माउंट एवरेस्ट समिट किया है। साथ ही सातों महाद्वीप में से 4 महाद्वीप के भी ऊंचे पर्वतों को मैंने फतह किया है और अभी वर्तमान समय में पूरे मध्य प्रदेश की बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ की ब्रांड एम्बेसडर हूँ। जिस तरह से पूरी दुनिया में भी महामारी फैली हुई है कोरोना, मैं आप सभी से निवेदन करती हूँ घर से बाहर निकलते समय हमेशा मास्क का उपयोग करें। हमेशा घर में अंदर आने के बाद हाथों को साफ पानी और साबुन से धोएं। सुरक्षा ही इसका एकमात्र उपाय है।
This is All India Radio giving you the news.
देखिए फिल्म जगत के कई मशहूर कलाकारों के साथ भगवान श्री राम के जन्म स्थान अयोध्या से रामलीला डीडी नेशनल पर लाइव 17 से 25 अक्टूबर रोज शाम 7 बजे से रात 10 बजे तक और इसका पुनः प्रसारण 18 से 26 अक्टूबर डीडी भारती पर सुबह 9 बजे से दोपहर 12 बजे तक और दोपहर 3 बजे से शाम 6 बजे तक डीडी नेशनल पर।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 70th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of All India Radio, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. In Chhattisgarh, a security personnel was martyred in an encounter with Maoists today. The incident took place at the Oracha area of Narayanpur district in Bastar division. Following specific inputs about the presence of Maoists in Abujmar area, a team of District Reserve Guard DRG was on a search operation. Maoists ambushed the team at the jungles of Kader. Security personnel retaliated the fire. In the gun battle, a DRG Jawan was killed while another Jawan was injured.
The United Nations UN Day is being observed today. It was on the 24th of October in 1945 that the UN officially came into existence. It is currently made up of 193 member states. In his message, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that as the UN turns 75, the world faces colossal challenges. He said these can be overcome with global solidarity and cooperation, and that is what the UN is about. India's 2-year term as non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, UNSC, will begin on the 1st of January 2021. Our correspondent has filed this report.
This will be the 8th time that India will be serving on the UN Security Council. India's work in the UNSC will be guided by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call for a reformed multilateralism and the dynamic 5S vision of Samman, Samvad, Sahyog, Shanti and Samriddhi. Through this approach, India seeks to move towards a new orientation for a reformed multilateral system. As a founding member of United Nations, India is fully committed to the principles and purposes of the UN Charter. With Anand Kumar, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said reformed multilateralism has become an essential imperative as UN marks its 75th anniversary. In a series of tweets, the minister said India will enter UNSC in January 2021 as a non-permanent member. He asserted that India will uphold the interests of the developing world and seek to strengthen the global consensus on key contemporary challenges.
On the occasion of the 75th UN Day, Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan inaugurated a philately exhibition on India and the UN, a postal history. This was done during a virtual event organized by the UN in India. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Muralidharan highlighted India's multifaceted contribution to the work of the United Nations over the past 7 decades. President Ramnath Kovind has extended warm greetings and best wishes to all fellow Indian citizens and people abroad on the eve of Dussehra. In a message, Mr. Kovind said the festival strengthens the cultural unity of India and inspires us to live in harmony, following the path of virtue and shunning evil. Mr. Kovind said the festival is also associated with the life and values of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram, whose life is a shining example of morality and righteousness. The President hoped that the festival will protect us from the evil effects of the ongoing pandemic and bring prosperity and affluence to our countrymen. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has also greeted the nation on the eve of Dussehra. In his message, he urged everyone to follow COVID-19 health protocols while celebrating Dussehra. He said Dussehra symbolizes the victory of good over evil and celebration of the annihilation of demon Mahisasur by goddess Durga. He added that the festival reminds us of the pious, virtuous and noble life led by Lord Ram, who is an ideal son, an ideal husband, an ideal king, and an embodiment of righteousness, truth and morality. The Vice President hoped that the festival will bring peace, harmony, good health and prosperity in the nation.
Indian Navy has operationalized the first batch of 3 women pilots on Dornier aircraft by the Southern Naval Command, SNC, at Kochi. A report.
Country's first batch of women pilots are ready to soar high on Dornier aircraft. The 3 women pilots were part of the 6 pilots of the 27th Dornier Operational Flying Training Course. They graduated as fully operational maritime reconnaissance pilots at a passing out ceremony held at INS Garuda in Kochi on Thursday. Rear Admiral Anthony George, Chief Staff Officer of Southern Naval Command, presented awards to the pilots who are now fully qualified on Dornier aircraft for all operational missions. The 3 women pilots of the first batch are Lieutenant Divya Sharma, Lieutenant Shubhangi Swaroop and Lieutenant Shivangi. These officers had initially undergone basic flying training partly with the Indian Air Force and partly with the Navy prior to the Dornier Operational Flying Training Course. This is Diksha Saxena, News Desk.
In IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Delhi Capitals at Abu Dhabi. Spinner Varun Chakravarti picked up his maiden 5-wicket haul to derail Delhi Capitals' massive chase of 195 and help Kolkata Knight Riders to a 59-run win. Earlier, after being reduced to 42 for 3, Sunil Narayan and Nitesh Rana came together for a 119-run partnership to help Kolkata Knight Riders stage a stunning comeback. Both batsmen scored half-centuries and along with Eoin Morgan's 17 of 9 gave KKR a formidable total of 194 for 6. The second match between Kings 11 Punjab and Sunrisers Hyderabad is going on in Dubai. Sunrisers Hyderabad skipper David Warner had won the toss and opted to field. Kings 11 Punjab were 92 for 5 wickets in 15.2 overs when reports last came in.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. Jammu and Srinagar cities will have mainly clear sky. In Jammu, the minimum temperature will be 16 degrees Celsius, while the maximum nearly 31 degrees. In Srinagar, there will be much change in temperature as it will vary between 3 to 23 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear skies. Leh will have mainly clear sky, but minimum temperature will be minus 3 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be nearly 15 degrees. Gilgit will witness mainly clear skies becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening, with temperature moving from 6 degrees to 26 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, lower limit of temperature will be 11 degrees Celsius, while the upper limit will be at 29 degrees. The sky will be mainly clear. National capital Delhi will have mainly clear skies, with the temperature hovering between 14 and 34 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, the sky will be partly cloudy with possibility of development of thunder or lightning. The lower temperature in the metropolis will be 27.
And now, before we close the headlines once again, efforts are on to connect every village with better health facilities, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Inaugurates 3 key projects and biggest cardiac hospital of the country in Gujarat. Government extends deadline for filing income tax returns by individual taxpayers till 31st of December. Total recoveries of COVID-19 cross 70 lakh in the country. Recovery rate improves to 89.78%. Prime Minister will share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Delhi Capitals by 59 runs. In the second match, Kings 11 Punjab is playing with Sunrisers Hyderabad in Dubai. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.